10 lists in 10 weeks. It's Jarom 10 and 10.
Okay, today it's the coaches. We're doing 10 top 10 lists in 10 weeks, getting you ready for fall camp of BYU's opposition. Not listed in the coaches today, Portland State, UNLV, and UMass. Number 10, Brett Brennan, San Jose State. Yes, he went 4-8 in his first season with the Spartans, but he's coached at Washington, Cal, Oregon State, and Hawaii mainly as a wide receivers coach. Number 9, Nick Rolovich, Hawaii. It's hard for me to bring up Rolovich's name because he torched the Cougars for 8 touchdowns and 543 passing yards as the QB at Hawaii to end BYU's undefeated 2001 regular season.
72 points!
The most BYU's ever given up. He got Hawaii back to a bowl game in year 1 after a 5-year drought.
Yeah, well, Nick, guess what, Nick? Payback stinks.
Number 8, Scotty Montgomery, East Carolina. Montgomery played on 3 NFL teams. He coached with a quality Duke team. He also has 2 years of coaching experience in the NFL with the Steelers. He will help rebuild East Carolina after Ruffin McNeil was let go 2 seasons ago and then joined Virginia with Bronco Mendenhall.
Scotty will not beat the Cougars.
7, Matt Wells, Utah State. He went 19-9 his first 2 years, turned down some bigger jobs.
Solid.
He might be on the hot seat this year because he's gone 9-16 in the last 2. 2014 team wrecked BYU's 20th ranking early undefeated season. That experience is too dramatic not to resonate and at least scare you a little bit in any given year against BYU.
Matt Wells on the hot seat?
Number 6, Brian Harsin, Boise State. Harsin's Chris Peterson's replacement in Boise State. 31-9 in Boise. 9 NFL draft picks, 2-1 versus BYU. Fiesta Bowl champs 2014. He's good, but he's not in the top 5.
Good, but not good enough.
Number 5, Ed Orgeron, LSU. This is Coach O's big break. He got fired at Ole Miss, 10-25 over 3 seasons. But 6-1 as the interim coach at USC after Lane Kiffin. Didn't get that job. 6-2 as the interim coach for Les Miles. Last season, he gets the job. He's the head man in Baton Rouge, back in the SEC. He's interim gold, Jerry. 12-4, but 22-29 overall. I'm interested to see if he can take LSU to national championship contention. They need to start with a division title because they haven't won one in the last, or they've won 1 in the last 9 years. Hashtag Roll Tide.
Listen, it's different rallying the troops as an interim coach and then becoming the guy. I am a little fascinated by what he will do now that it really matters, and he is the guy at LSU.
Speaking of SEC West, number 4, Dan Mullen, Mississippi State.
Ooh, a little lower than I thought he'd be.
Mullen's the man who is a QB whisperer. Dak Prescott, Mississippi State. Alex Smith, Utah. Tim Tebow, Florida. Now he has Nick Fitzgerald, who's really good, one of the best dual threats, maybe the second best dual threat. Mullen has won 9 or more games 2 of the last 3 years, 5-2 in bowl games.
Well, who's ahead of him if he's the quarterback whisperer?
Number 3, this one's a surprise. Jeff Tedford, Fresno State.
Whoa!
Tedford took over for Tom Hummel at Cal. All Tedford did was go 82-57, produce 40 NFL draft picks. I'm going to repeat that, 40. Won the Pac-12 once, 5-3 in bowl games. He made Cal football relevant. He recruited and coached Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch, Deshaun Jackson. 2 of those guys were in the 2005 Las Vegas Bowl versus BYU. He went to the Bucs as the OC, coached John Beck with the BC Lions in 2015. Don't forget that. He's been out of the college game for 5 years. Otherwise, he might be number 2.
Wow, Tedford over Mullen and even flirting with number 2.
Number 2.
What does he do at Fresno State?
We'll see. Paul Chryst, Wisconsin. Chryst is the man after Gary Anderson left for Oregon State. 21-6 the last 2 years. Holiday and Cotton Bowl victories. BYU can relate with that. 2 first-round NFL draft picks last year. The Badgers took second, then first in the division the last 2 years. Wisconsin's good every year, man.
Seriously.
The Badgers finished ranked 9th in both polls to finish 2016. They're top 15, maybe even top 10 going into this year. And this is BYU's toughest team they'll play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's not the best coach on this list.
Jarom, don't do it.
And the number 1 coach that BYU will face this year is Kyle Whittingham of Utah. The all-conference BYU linebacker. He's a good coach because he learned at BYU. Utah's one of the most consistent programs in college football. In fact, last 3 years, finished ranked 26-10 in every college football playoff ranking, okay? That's good. There's no better coach in bowl games in the history of college football than Kyle Whittingham. 10-1, 8 NFL draft picks last year. However, Utah haven't won anything significant since the Sugar Bowl, and they haven't won an outright conference or Pac-12 South division title, only team in the division to do that. So he's really good, trying to take him over the top. This isn't the year, though. But in terms of overall coaching, what they've done, Kyle Whittingham, to me, is the best coach BYU will face in 2017.